one of my housing insiders 5 days ago dropped a bombshell of information on me, and I did not know how to put it out. One, because most people will find it hard to believe because they're being told something completely different in the mainstream media. And number two, to protect those that are bringing me amazing information at the cost of their own jobs or livelihood. I actually called another insider that knows what is going on as well and asked, how do I share this information? And can you guys do me a favor and let me know if my mic is messing up? Sorry, having some little issues. And he said to me, my insider said, you're going to not be able to share everything we give you because, quite frankly, there's not a lot of proof out there just yet. But he said, pretty soon you're going to get some information through the mainstream and you'll know how to couple it together. And last night, I saw a news story come out, and it's out of Yahoo Finance. And it is entitled, D.R. Horton registers a bigger fall than the market. Important facts to note. I haven't even read the story. I know exactly by the headline that this is when I was supposed to put this out. It's interesting that the news story comes out 2 days after I'm given this information. And I'm going to share that information with you. But first, I want to share a small story from one of my insiders. He said he was on a housing tour back east with a handful of large builders. There are also some institutional investors as well. They're driving down the road, and one person asks another, how are they selling homes right now? Because they can't. And I'm going to leave the two specific companies out, but it's the point of what was said that's important. And he said, I can't sell any homes. We are deadlocked. We don't know what to do. And the other gentleman from another company, a big home builder, said, oh, that's easy. We're putting sold signs in about every other home in the models. And we're saying about, and not only, the models, but the actual homes being built, there's a sold sign out in front. He said, they're not sold, but we found, because we're creating anticipation, scarcity, in which they're faking, they're lying about. He said that they're selling homes. And then they're simply, after people are in those homes, oh, look at this one, the buyer fell out, so now it's available. So there are things going on in the housing industry that they don't want you to know. And when I share with you this information, it's very important to understand the reason why they don't want you to know is because it would collapse the entire market. And I do believe that the market is already, it's too far gone. It will be collapsing. So here's the story. Also, if you want to take advantage, I'm 60% done with the Mortgage Master course, pre-filming discounts down below. If you want to be ready for this and become a prime borrower so that when all this goes down, you're getting the loans and nobody else is, go check it out. Okay, the story's at Yahoo Finance. D.R. Horton closed at $143 a share in the latest trading session, marking down about a little less than 2% move from the prior day. The stock's performance was behind the S&P 500's daily loss. At that same time, the Dow added, so who cares about these numbers? Shares of the home builder have depreciated by 1.12% over the course of the past month. Not really a big deal, right? Underperforming the construction sector's loss of only 0.27% and the S&P's gain of 4.5%. Analysts and investors alike will be keeping a close eye on the performance of D.R. Horton in its upcoming earnings disclosure. The company's earnings report is set to go public on July 18th, 2024. Now, this is very important. When you hear this information that I'm going to give you from an insider, D.R. Horton, you're going to see why this is a big deal. Now, it says it is anticipated that the company will report earnings per share of $3.80, marking a 2.5% fall compared to the same quarter of the previous year. Alongside our most recent consensus estimate is anticipating revenue of $9.69 billion. Investors should also note any recent changes to analyst estimates for D.R. Horton. These latest adjustments often mirror the shifting dynamics of short-term business patterns. As a result, upbeat changes in estimates indicate analysts' favorable outlook on the company's business health and profitability. All right. Trying to figure out how to do this. Zacks rating system spanning from a number 1, which is a strong buy, to number 5, which is a strong sell, boasts an impressive track record of outperformance. It says within the past 30 days, our consensus EPS projection remained stagnant. D.R. Horton is currently a Zacks number 3, which is a hold. So Zacks has rated D.R. Horton stock, one of the biggest home builders in the country, right in the middle of strong buy, strong sell. They're right on the fence. Now I'm going to share with you what my insider said. Thanks, Jesse. All right. Sorry, my buddy's texting me right now because he is a big real estate agent. He is up crushing it right now in Seattle, and he's watching live, and he knows how big of a deal this is. So here's what I got from one insider, sent it to another to get it to me in a special way, to where this info, I'm just going to share it. So I got this info from someone we know, and they had received some information from D.R. Horton. They are right now attempting to liquidate 54 neighborhoods with anywhere from between 100 and 150 doors per neighborhood. So that's 54 neighborhoods. Everyone start doing the math for me. 54 neighborhoods between 100 and 150 doors each. So let's just take 125 doors each. They have an interest payment coming up at the end of August. I believe it's around August 30th, actually. And they're dropping their price for these developments from $350,000 a door to $250,000 a door, and they are not going to be requiring earnest money. They are desperate to unload these units, which are all over the southern states. Now, let me stop and tell you that this price drop from $350 to $250, I believe, is going down directly to their cost. They will not be making a dime, more than likely, based off per square footage costs, which have skyrocketed since COVID. $250,000 per door is more than likely just breaking even. And the sad thing is, you will not see this price right now. And I can't say never, because this whole thing is imploding right in front of our eyes. But what will happen is they're trying to sell these to institutions bundled up, and this is what they're doing. And anybody in the industry that knows how this works, please let people know down below, because people are not going to be able to wrap their mind around this. When these institutions come in and buy, there is an agreement. We're going to bundle them up under one deed. Let's say 25, 50 homes, maybe even 100 homes. They're all going under one. They're recorded together. It is going to be almost impossible for people to figure out how much each specific home sold for. They're going to be held like that and recorded with the county or the city, wherever they're recorded at, and they're going to be held together in a group, and they're going to be rented. The reason why you do this and you don't record them each individually, because then the truth would come out. There's also a pricing scheme going on where these bundled up homes, let's say they're selling for $700,000 to the public. You go to one of these big this is not just D.R. Horton, it's all these large home dealers that are having a very hard time selling. What they're doing is they're going to these hedge funds. The hedge funds are taking your retirement money and they're buying these homes, and then they're renting them. So they're getting a rate of return back to, take the lion's share for their management fees and then give the pennies to you in the form of a retirement system, which I have to tell you is honestly a Ponzi scheme. It is a pyramid scheme. Okay. It is completely insolvent. Our nation's pension funds are completely insolvent. All right. What they do is they go to these home builders and said, look, we're not going to pay 700 grand. We'll pay, let's say 6. So the pension fund goes, all right, well, we can't sell them to you for 6 because once they're recorded, someone like the Economic Ninja is going to figure this out and do a video about it, and it's going to expose this thing. And before you know it, Yahoo Finance is on it, Fox News, and all those guys, because they're watching these social media people, right? So the pension fund, the hedge fund, and just, it's not directly the pension fund, right? They use third-party intermediary companies that all they do is they take the money from the pension fund and they go out and invest. So that's even one more hand in your pension funds. Please understand. Type 1 if you know what I'm talking about. There are so many hands in your pension fund. It's insane. That's why if you become your own pension fund, it's unbelievable, right? So what they do is they go, okay, we're not going to pay the 700 grand. So what we're going to do is you're going to sell them to us for 7, but you're going to give us $100,000 back in escrow. It's completely legal. Okay. This is legal. But what we're also going to do is we're going to bundle up 200 of these homes together, all in one recording. Nobody needs to know. Sure, they're going to have addresses way down deep in the filings, right? People aren't going to do the work to divide them because they're all different square footages. Who knows what we paid for them, right? It's too much work. But then what happens is that $100,000 for each unit that comes back to us, that's recorded not at the top line as a home sale for 600 grand. It's recorded, the sale, let's say on average was 700,000 each or whatever. Down way below, it shows on a line item that $100,000 went from the seller to the buyer as a concession, let's say. Then we know, and these insiders know, that Zillow and Redfin, the companies that everybody believes is gospel, and they're completely wrong. And you're going to find this out too late. You'll find it out too late, and by then you missed a couple of credit card payments or a car payment, because as this comes down, the government's going to say, you don't have to make your car payments. These are hard times. So this crash is going to hit you in the back of the head so hard, your head will spin. But they're going to do exactly what they did during COVID. Don't worry. Don't worry. You don't have to. And people are going to miss a couple payments, and they're going to sit back and be okay, just like what happened with COVID. And good news, the government came out later and said, oh, you got bad credit. Don't worry. You can still get a house. They're building you up to this point where they prick the bubble. And then this time you missed a couple payments because they said it was okay. But you go down to the bank and the bank goes, sorry, we're not giving you a loan. We're in a liquidity event. The government pulled back. The government's not doing what they did for you during COVID. And this is a planned event. And I'm trying my hardest to wake enough people up. And I'm telling you what, if you just got on this video, I would highly encourage you to go back to the beginning and watch it, because this plan, and the other day, someone had ghosted me, one of my insiders, and I knew why. And a message got to me, and this is what it said. Travis, you scare me. You are directly over the target. And what you are exposing can threaten a lot of people's lives that are moving this money. You see, I know what it's like to move land and facilitate a sale to a pension fund. I know how much money's involved. That's what I did for a little bit of time. That's the only reason I had a brokerage. I knew how to talk to guys that moved lots of money. We spoke the same language. So I would become the facility, my company, to move those products. So I worked directly with and sat down at the table with the third party, the companies that work directly with CalPERS, CalSTRS, New York City Pension Fund, the feds, the TSP funds, the companies that worked with those funds. And this person said that this is all falling apart right now. It is happening. And so I'm putting this video out, and you're going to find out when not only DR Horton's earnings come out, it's going to disappoint in July. And then third quarter earnings are going to come out after that massive interest payment is due that they're having a hard time with. In the middle of the banks imploding, in the middle of a fintech explosion, right before the election, so much truth is going to come out. It will blow your mind. And again, I'm on the front line of warning you so that just like the lumber crisis and all these things, I said, don't worry, this is going to change because this is going to happen. And then, oh yeah, this looks really good. Well, this is going to look really bad. So I'm showing you things in real time. And I want to thank all of my insiders that are sharing this stuff with me so that I could bring it to you before it hits the news. I'm very grateful. You need to position yourself. And I have a question for you. Type 2 if you are taking action right now, but type 3 if you want to take action and get ready for this real estate crash, but you don't know how to. There are so many people that will probably type 3 that have never had the courage. No, I wouldn't say the courage, the understanding that they have what it takes. They just have to do a couple of tweaks to get ready for these crises or to go own a home. Do you know how many people in America do not know they have the ability to own their own home because they just don't know where to start? And that's where my passion is. I don't care to go out and instruct or make a bunch of rich people richer. I want to show the low and middle class, the middle of the middle class, the low and the middle, how to go and get rich. And one of the only things you've got to do is you've just got to be ahead of the curve. You've got to be ahead of the rush. And there's about to be a rush out of housing. And I want you, like a financial firefighter, running into that burning structure, putting it out and going, I'll remodel this. I'll take this over. That's where my passion lies. I could have went the whole other direction and went Mr. Fancy Pants, but I did my channel a specific way because I want to wake up middle America. And I want to show you how to do this. And one thing you've got to do is you've got to keep that credit score. You can't fall for these government tricks that they're going to sit there and say, you can miss a couple payments. Don't worry, we'll take care of the credit card company. They're going to push you out of being able to borrow money at unbelievably low numbers. And I want you to understand this very fundamental concept. First, when the Federal Reserve is dropping rates, they're dropping rates aggressively. Drop, like what we saw in 2000, right? And then what we saw after the dot-com bubble. Then after what we saw in 2007 to 2008, dropping, right? Going to nothing, just about. They're dropping because nobody can borrow because they're either scared or they don't qualify, right? Then on top of that, when they do drop those rates, it's only because bad things are happening. They only wait till the end because the Fed wants to be known as the financial savior of the nation. Okay? And the reason why homes drop is because no one's buying. I don't care what you think Fox News is telling you, what the mainstream media is telling you, or the Case-Shiller Index, which takes a rolling average number to soften the blow and delay the facts, usually by a factor of 3. This is happening right now. If you want to take advantage of the course, pre-filming discounts down below. It's like 83% off. Once this course is finished, which I anticipate in the next 7 days, because my editor says all videos should be in my hand within 1 week, that discount's gone. It will never, ever be this price. The link's down below. But if you don't go and put financial, invest in yourself to go take action, at least go and start to think a little differently and dig deep. And then think about what you can do right now. The excess crap that you're spending money on, the little apps on your phone that you're blowing money on, stop spending it right now and just wait. Hunker down and wait. and you will see the most amazing opportunities in your life. You're going to absolutely crush it. I want to thank you so much for joining me today. You're going to absolutely dominate it. And I can't wait to bring you this next class. I've been losing sleep over the last couple months, because to say that you're going to save thousands of dollars on your next either refinance or your first purchase is an understatement. I'm going to show you everything about what it's like and how to get a mortgage and how to save thousands of dollars. And then subsequently, you're going to save tens of thousands of dollars, because you're going to get the best rate possible on your situation. And if your situation ain't good, I'm going to show you how to get out of that situation and become a prime borrower. Banks are going to be begging you to take their money because they need to salt your credit score, your type of background, your income level along the top of all their crappy scores. Get ready. This is what I went through and what I learned in the year 2000. I hope you have a great day. The Economic Ninja is out.